In the morning, that was business. We're going to move on now to a look at what is happening in the newspapers with you, Florence Villeminot. Good morning. Nice to see you. We're going to begin with the French newspapers, largely focused on the German election that's to take place on Sunday.
That's right. It's on the front page of several newspapers. Let's start by looking at Le Figaro, which is the right-leaning newspaper, which says that French people want Merkel. And inside they have a poll, actually, which says that a net majority of French people, 56%, would like to see Merkel re-elected Chancellor. 64% have a very good opinion of her. And not only is Germany popular, but 63% of French people would like to see France draw inspiration from the German model. Now, this, remember, is in Le Figaro, which is the right-leaning paper, so obviously a big fan of Angela Merkel. And in fact, in their editorial, Le Figaro says that Merkel is the chancellor that France needs in Germany. She's exemplary in terms of her economic policy. She's a true European. These things are wonderful. The French socialist government should really learn a lesson from her. But it's interesting to note that they say that Merkel is the chancellor that French people want in Germany. According to a lot of people that Le Figaro asked, they wouldn't want her to be running France. And they say that a large reason for that is because she's not enough of an ideologist. She doesn't have enough of a long-term vision.
So we're happy to see her lead the Germans then. Left-leaning Libération also turning the spotlight to Germany ahead of its poll.
That's right. They look at the flip side of the German model and, in fact, have a 20-page special on this. They take a look at what's going on behind the scenes because, sure, Angela Merkel has brought economic prosperity to the country, but her system has its limits and the country is actually facing a lot of problems. And so Libération takes a look at what are these 12 labors, as they call it, that Germany must complete to maintain its position. Well, the most important one is the decline of the German population. Now, Libération says Germany was once considered the sick man of Europe, but it could very well become the old man of Europe. And this is really a ticking time bomb for the German economy.
Keeping its growth up, of course, to keep its growth up, rather, Germany has to attract people from abroad, and that's another issue that Libération has been looking at.
That's right. 400,000 immigrants a year to keep the economy running. A lot of them come from Eastern Europe, but a lot of them, an increasing number, are coming from Southern Europe, from countries like Greece and Portugal. Now, Germany has no problem attracting these immigrants, but sometimes has a hard time keeping them in the country. Only 40% of these new immigrants stay in the country, so this is a challenge that Germany is going to have to face.
Le Parisien, meanwhile, Florence, focuses on growing inequalities in Germany.
That's right. It takes a look at what it calls the two Germanys of Angela Merkel, because on the one hand, you have those who are benefiting from her economic policies, so business owners, but there are those who are left behind because Germany has no minimum wage, and a lot of people have what they call these mini jobs, so they're precarious jobs where they're paid about 400 euros a month. Now, for a lot of people, this is an extra source of income, but for 5 million of them, this is their only source of income. So Le Parisien says these people are really left behind by the system.
Finally, Florence, Le Figaro takes a look at new words in the French language.
Absolutely. Now, what are young people talking about these days? French seems to be an ever-changing language that evolves all the time. Well, a lot of English expressions slip their way into the French language.
Much the chagrin of the French.
Exactly. And so actually, it's Libération who takes a look at this. Now, these words are quite straightforward if you speak English, but you just have to put a French accent on them to understand them. But here are new words in the French language. So binge-watching, or binge-watching, so binge-watching, of course. My favorite, though, is the selfie, le selfie, so taking a photo of yourself with your camera, or le twerking, which we might remember Miley Cyrus doing.
Thank you very much indeed, Florence. A look there at what is in the French newspapers. Well, in just a moment, we're going to be doing as some of the French newspapers have done this morning and having a look at the inequalities that lie behind Germany's economic strength. This, of course, as the country prepares to head to its poll on Sunday. We'll be looking at that in just a moment. I'll be back with a roundup of the latest headlines as well in just a couple of minutes. Do stay with us.